this working? We did it! Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. 574 days ago, in the early morning hours, I filed my paperwork as a candidate for Colorado's 6th Congressional District. And tonight, I am humbled to stand before you as the congressman-elect for this district. We set out with a goal to bring new leadership to the country and move us forward again. It was a bold idea for someone who had never run for office before. But today, we got it done. I'm going to start by thanking those who made this possible, because this was truly a team effort. First, a special thank you to the incredible staff of Team Crow. Working and patriotic group inspired me on a daily basis, and I couldn't be more proud of this team. And thank you to the thousands of volunteers who made this victory possible. If you knocked on doors, called neighbors, or wrote postcards, then you were a part of the biggest grassroots campaign this district has ever seen. From day one that if Coloradans heard our story, if they knew our vision for moving us forward, then we could win. Yes. But it took our grit and determination to do it. You stood up and fought for your families. You fought for your neighbors and those who needed a champion, and I'm honored to stand with you. Tonight, you sent a message that democracy is alive and well in America, and that you will not be silenced. I want to thank Mike Coffman for a spirited and hard-fought campaign. We have had our differences, but he's a hard worker, and he has served his country honorably. To be very clear, Mike Coffman and his supporters are not our enemies. This is politics, not war. And I will never stop trying to find common ground where I can. I wish him all the best. We are lucky to have family and friends who have rallied around us. I want to thank our village who helped make this happen and helped our family in countless ways. From babysitters to dinners to taking our kids to practices, everything you did kept us going, and I cannot thank you enough. I want to thank the toughest and most dedicated people on this campaign, Anderson and Josephine Crow. They are the reason we ran this race. This campaign was not easy, but one look at them was all it took to fight harder. Anderson, Josephine, and every child in America deserves nothing less than the very best of our efforts to hand off a country that is worthy of them. Tonight is for all of them, and tomorrow will be too. Finally, I want to thank my wife, Des. Campaign's heart and soul. Americans' heart and soul, but you were also somehow more than that. You were our best spokeswoman. You did a million things, large and small, to make this campaign what it is. Everything I do in my life will begin and end with you. I love you so much. Thank you for walking every step of this journey with me. My entire adult life has been organized around oaths that I have taken. There's the oath I took when I married Desiree. There's the promise I made when I became a lawyer to find the truth and uphold our sacred commitment to equal protection under the law. There's the one that I took as an Army Ranger when I vowed never to embarrass my country. And soon I will take another oath to uphold our Constitution and serve you in office with honor and integrity. These oaths were all taken with the same fundamental set of values. They're the values I learned fighting alongside my fellow Americans overseas. There's where I saw the heart and soul of America. To this day, when I think of America, the faces of those soldiers that I served with come to my mind. They were from every background and every corner of the nation. They were black, white, Asian, Hispanic. Some were straight, some were gay, and some weren't citizens. I learned that America is great because we draw strength from our diversity. And we are at our best. We are at our best when we focus on what unites us, not what divides us. We united around the flag on our shoulder. The oath we had all taken was more powerful than any of our differences. So tonight, I want to talk about what those oaths really mean and how they will steer us past the dark and uncertain political moment we find ourselves in. Over the course of this campaign, we went to over 300 community events. I went to senior centers and took questions about keeping schools safe from gun violence. I talked to Coloradans who have lived here for generations, and they asked me about immigration reform. I talked to students who were too young to vote, and they asked me about keeping dark money out of our elections. Those visits in our community were more than just about meeting new friends and hearing new ideas. Those visits were a sign of my commitment to our district. It doesn't matter whether it's a joyful holiday festival or a solemn memorial service or anything in between. As long as I have the honor of representing you in Congress, I'll be there for you no matter what. More time listening than I spend talking. You can learn more about your country and your community by showing up and listening than you can from your social media feed. So here are a few things that I learned on this campaign. First, Americans value and celebrate our diversity. We are more than just a melting pot of cultures. We are a vibrant melting pot of ideas. We don't turn away from tough conversations. We embrace them as our obligation to one another. No political party has a monopoly on being right, and nobody understands that better than Coloradans. Second, Americans are a kind and compassionate people. No matter where I went, Coloradans consistently voice concerns about their neighbors, not just themselves. Over the last 2 years, I have seen countless people in our community, many people in this room, sacrifice their own self-interest for the good of others. And they did so in the greatest American tradition of service over self. For me, this campaign reaffirmed the Colorado spirit, the notion that we are in this together and that we share a common destiny. Third, I learned that Americans are far more united than it may appear. Politics has a way of making our divisions seem deeper and more dramatic than they really are. When Americans turn against one another, when we let fear and distrust obscure the values we share with our neighbors, then we deny ourselves our full potential. So tonight Tonight I'm asking you to tune out the voices of hatred and division, because where we are going, we will not need them. For the last 19 months, I've talked a lot about servant leadership. And I want to be very clear about what that's going to mean to me in Congress. For 2 years, President Trump has dismantled our healthcare system. He has failed to enforce sanctions on Russia. He has tried to ban Muslims from entering the United States. His administration has separated children from their parents and locked them in cages. And it has tried to ban transgender soldiers from serving their country. It has even failed to acknowledge the science behind climate change. Our current leadership has gotten away with corruption and incompetence and outright bigotry for far too long. There have been far too many in Congress who have simply allowed it to happen, but that time is over. When I think about how we rebuild, I think about the oath I took as an Army Ranger. To go further, run faster, and fight harder than any other. To shoulder more than my share of the task, and to leave no one behind, and to never ever embarrass my country. That's the attitude that built this country, and that's what I'm going to bring to Washington. Tonight, we started a new chapter in the story of our democracy. There is a new generation of servant leaders on its way to Washington. Before, and we are ready to bring the values they uphold to Congress. We ended an era that let Donald Trump shape how we talk and think about our politics and each other. And we begin a new era that puts people first and recognizes our shared destiny. It will spare no tolerance for those who perpetuate or enable racism, hatred, or violence. It's time to practice politics with honor, dignity, and humility, and build a government that fights for those who need a fighter. And most of all, it's time to get to work. My name is Jason Crow, and I am proud to be the next congressman for Colorado.